We back in the lab, we making some noise, so go turn your decibels up. Black skin, white coat, oh no, who was nice as us? Made Jimison, really told us no limit, so we about to take us up. Went from mixing in the kitchen to the lab, and now I can make this up. Whoa! B-SCI, be scientist, B-SCI, be scientist. We shining a light on the people of color to show them how fly it is. B-SCI, be scientist, B-SCI, be scientist. We back in the lab with white coats on our back, trying to show what time it is. Hey!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the B-Scientist podcast by the Black Science Coalition and Institute. Usually, when you hear this noise, that means you're listening on your favorite podcast app. But today, you probably didn't hear that noise because you're listening right now. You're in the audience. So welcome to the B-Scientist live stream. I am... Nice.
B-Scientist live stream.
My name is Jordan Chapman. And as always, we have the dope chemist herself,
Jana Carpenter.
And for the second time, we got the legend in the building. Give it up for...
Hey, the DOC, notorious DOC, Shenell Tolson, D.R.P.H. I'm Bay. I'm all things science, all things public health, and I'm here to help you make good choices.
Yes.
Dope. And for the first time on B-Scientist, we got the STEM advocate himself.
What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? I am so happy to be here. This is Chad Singleton coming in, Science Communication Officer for B-SCI. Like Shenell said, all things public health, all things chemistry, all things biology. Just here to explain everything to you guys, and I'm so happy to be with you today. Actually, my first time coming on the show, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we talk about you all the time. We show off.
We really do.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I appreciate that, y'all.
Right.
Giving me the big head. I appreciate it, man. But thank you guys for having me.
And okay, so this is our second live stream, and we did it today on Give Aid 28, hosted by the Young Black and Giving Black Institute. And Give Aid 28 is a special day within African American history for several different reasons. First, going from most recent to oldest. Last year on 8/28 is actually when Chadwick Boseman died. Of course, Chadwick Boseman was the actor who played Black Panther, but also back in 2008 on 8/28. Senator from Chicago, Illinois, was given the Democratic nomination, and his name is Barack Obama. And then a couple months later, he became the first Black president of the United States. And in 2005, it was the day when Hurricane Katrina made landfall in New Orleans. In 1963, I believe, is when a man from Atlanta marched on Washington and gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, obviously Martin Luther King. And unfortunately, in 1955, it was the day that a 14-year-old boy was killed by a white mob, and his name is Emmett Till. So 8/28 has a lot of significance for a lot of different reasons on different dates and different times for Black Americans. But 4 years ago, the Young Black and Giving Back Institute made it the day that they would do a fundraising events based around that stuff. And for the last 4 years, other nonprofits such as B-SCI and some other science nonprofits today like SimLink and MISS have also become 8/28 organizations that celebrate this day and try to make it a day for giving back to Black institutions. So here we are, B-SCI on 8/28. So how you guys doing today?
Doing great. Ready to make some money.
Right.
Dig in your pockets. Dig. We'll take
Please
change
do.
too. Did he say it's good? If like 500 y'all do it, like come on, let's go.
Right. We do have a fundraising goal today. We are hoping to raise about $500. All of that stuff would go to our B-Scientist initiatives, which will help us get audio and visual equipment for making science communication videos, and also helping support the B-Scientist podcast, the website, things like that. So we're hoping that we can get that. But yes, like Shenell said, please send us some money.
So let's clarify that, because I was thinking, 50 cents would be easy, but you said we only looking for $500 today?
Just only 500.
So what that sounds like to me is if you tell a friend and tell a friend, and each of y'all give $1, we're gonna make our goal. We'll be all right. It's
It'll be
$1.
easy.
Only $1. Y'all can do $1.
They can do $1.
I mean, if one of each of our followers gave $1, we would surpass our goal. So imagine if we tell a friend of a
Definitely.
friend to just go ahead and log in, send $1, send $2, $20. We will make it.
Yeah. Yes,
I mean, if
we
you know
can.
a rich friend, just tell them to donate like 100, and we
Yeah.
pretty much be there already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you ain't gonna miss $100.
I mean, and look, it's Saturday, so I mean, somebody got paid yesterday.
Somebody got definitely, yeah. Somebody
You could do
definitely got
$1.
paid.
You could
Yeah.
do $1.
You know what I'm saying?
And what you gonna blow it on? You gonna go to the club? I mean, right now, I don't think you're going to the
In a
club. You
pandemic?
shouldn't be at the
Come
club.
on.
I mean, what can you actually buy for $1 now? Let's have that conversation. What could you do with $1 that's better than giving it to us right now? Let's have that conversation. Can you buy
I can't think of anything. I don't think
I
so.
don't got nothing.
No. Man.
I mean, other than contributing to, like, you know, trans fatty acids coming
Right.
from
Right.
McDonald's, and nobody wants
the dollar
that.
money,
It's
yeah.
like, come
Like
on.
a fry?
Why not give it back to
No.
the community? Can I get an amen?
Give it back to the
Give it back
community.
to the
Give it back to the
community.
community.
Give it to B-SCI.
Give it to
Exactly.
B-SCI. And if you're not gonna give it to us, then give it to another Give 828 organization. Like if
There you go.
hey, like I don't know how you feel about us, but if that's the case, you know, it's like 100 other organizations out. It's more than 100. So hey, just look up another one. You can definitely give back to the community today.
So what I'm hearing you say is, if they do decide to reach down into the pocket of their heart and give $100, they can spread it across 100 other organizations by just giving $1 to everybody, right? So you can spread the wealth. If you just dig down into the pocket of your heart, ladies and gentlemen, the pocket of your heart, the good part, $1. That's $1. We passing the collection
Preach
plate.
it.
Saturday, we passing the plate. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Yes,
We do.
we appreciate everything, guys.
Everything.
Amazing. So I mean, so there's a lot going on. You know, so me and Jenna were just talking about some of the significance for even this time for us. Like this was around this time last year is actually when we became a 501c3. And then it's also just about the anniversary of the podcast itself. And I was thinking about earlier how one of my top 3 favorite moments was when Shenell came on in her episode with the intro. So that's one of my top favorite moments. So I don't know about you, Jenna, but what are some of your favorite moments?
Obviously, when Dr. Shenell Tolson came on. And also all of the times that we have highlighted her delicious chocolate, Simplicity chocolate. Can't let it go. It's still top tier.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead after you give that $1. Oh yeah,
no, it was amazing. Yeah, like no cap. It was one of the best chocolates I ever had.
Honestly.
So can I tell you a secret?
What's
I
up?
had no
See, I'm
idea that
left
you
out.
guys
I gotta
I
get
wasn't
some.
paying attention. So if you ordered it, I have no idea if you ordered.
Well, sometimes
That's all right.
sometimes I've gone onto the website to get chocolate and it's been sold out, and I gotta come. Yeah, so I've been like, what's? I've just been upset. But then one day Jenna had it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna finally try this. And I was like, this is worth the wait, honestly.
Yeah, my roommate actually bought like 6 bars of chocolate. Like she was just like, nah, I gotta get this chocolate today.
Really?
Nice.
Oh yeah, because she heard our episode and was like, oh my god, I need to go support this Black woman. And I was like, you right.
You're right.
That's always right. And so Jordan came over and I was like, all right, Jordan, you can have a couple pieces. I turned my head for 1 second and like half the bar was gone.
Yeah.
So,
I got a sweet tooth. You can't give me stuff like that.
But no, really, it's delicious chocolate, and I couldn't be happier to support you because you are really putting in the work. And it's a delicious product. Everything you do really just turns to gold. So I wasn't surprised, honestly. But
Thank you.
But
She a
yeah.
legend.
I'm trying to be on TV. Shoot, I need Discovery Channel. I need the History Channel.
Nat Geo.
Netflix. Nat Geo. I need someone to take a look at my vivacious personality and say, we need her on our screens across the globe, talking about STEM and public health and helping people make good choices.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You can also catch Shenell on Stembassy.
There you go.
Exactly.
Get ready for season 4. Season 4 is getting ready. We loading.
Right.
Yes.
I'm down for it. I've definitely binge watched Stembassy before, so I'm happy to see it.
Yes. Stembassy is where
STEM Noir
STEM
just
meet.
happened.
And we have different people come on the show. If you are in one of the letters, the S, the T, the E, or the M, we want to have you on the show. So make sure you send an email to stemc.org and come check us out and be on the show. Be a STEM person on the show. We'll talk about your life, what you're doing, all the good stuff in science, and all the extras that nobody wants to talk about, or because they think that scientists aren't real people. So we want to hear all your quirks and everything. That's good stuff. It's like B-SCI, but on camera.
Yeah, fair. Speaking of other podcasts, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, she's been on TV before, so
true.
Oh, big time.
We're gonna brag about Shenell too.
I want to be on screens across the globe, though, all around the world.
Right. We gonna make it happen.
I hope so.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. I mean, fantastic personality, fantastic. Like I said, I told Jordan like many times, like I'm just a super duper fan of your science communication skills. Like I know when you first came to B-SCI, like as soon as you were gone, like I just I was like, Jordan, oh my god, that's Dr. Shenell Tolson. Like I'm such a fan, like because I've been following you for a minute on Instagram, so I was like, really, she's gonna be B-SCI? Oh man, like I gotta step my game up too, man. Like
after the first meeting, like it was me, Chad, and Janae. And like literally, we didn't even talk about we were just like, so how do we make we're going to say yes? So how do we make this happen? It was no question.
Exactly right.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is so awesome.
Right.
I'm still kind of like, I'm like, that's so awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been amazing having both you and Chad on here. And then Chad, you also have your own podcast. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes,
I actually do. So my podcast is the Square Roundtable podcast, and it's me and a couple of my friends from college and my brother, Joshua Singleton, Marcus Long, and Demetrius. And we talk about different things like video games, everything in nerd culture, video games, anime, comic books. We actually did, not too long ago, me and a couple other people from B-SCI, we did a NSPN event where we talked about representation and Afrofuturism in science and comic books, and different scientists that were black and different scientists of color in comic books, and how they inspired certain superheroes to be created, and how certain superheroes inspired different scientists. And I actually talked to a lot of these people on my podcast that have created these superheroes, that have played these superheroes on television, in movies, and or in comic books. And it's pretty cool, man. You guys should come check us out. We record and drop a new episode every Friday on fandomlimb.com. Our website is squareroundtablepod.fandomlimb.com, and you can just check us out and have a fun time. We also talk to a couple of scientists every now and then, but we're really all over the place. We do science communication and comic books and anime and music and all of that good stuff. We don't really try to focus on one thing, but it's always a good time. And we got to get you guys on there too. Like we just been all over the place with scheduling, but we will have a B-SCI themed episode. Sure. I promise. I got you.
And I mean, you have some pretty dope.
And we can all nerd it up together.
Like, every time I post like a little like, hey, y'all should check out this podcast, people are like, yeah, who? They're about to and I'm like, yeah, like you gotta tune
That's
in.
What's up.
Like it's always super
Man,
cool.
Look, I appreciate. Thank you so much. And just like I gotta say this here, I appreciate all you guys' support. Like every time I see, because I just post my little stuff, and I'm just like, hopefully somebody will see it, and then like you guys share, and I'm like, oh my god, B-SCI, come through, B-SCI. Like you guys are just like, the support is amazing. And that's what everything I do, like with, schoolwork, you guys support me in graduate school. Every time I do a talk somewhere at my, college or, for another organization, you guys always, lift me up and spread the news and tell everybody about me. So, inside, outside of the podcast, you guys completely support me. And I hope, that I'm, doing the same for you guys, and you guys feel the same way about me. But I seriously appreciate it. Like this is such an awesome family, and I'm glad to be.
Someone said something to me recently.
It, so thank you so much.
I forget her name, but she started, I think, Black women in public health on Facebook, and she said like something about collaboration. I don't remember the exact quote, but I was like, yeah, like, why would we not just uplift? Like, what's all this other stuff we're doing? Like, just uplift. Why not? Like, there's nothing else to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it takes a
Oh
village,
yeah,
and part
Right.
of that responsibility
seriously.
is to uplift each other. So that's like standard, you know.
For
Um,
sure.
and speaking of, I mean, I can't just. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about your recent shout outs and shout out Atlanta,
Right. Yeah.
highlighting all your
I
accolades.
just want to make it clear, like,
Yeah.
anytime like that's happened, it's
Yes,
because of
yes.
Chad. I don't know how he does it, but then he does it, and then I get something else later. I'm like, and the
Oh
recent
man.
one, like, so I didn't even talk to Chad about it, but someone sent me something. Then I sent Chad like a text message, just like, "Did you do an interview?"
Yes, it was like I know exactly when Jordan gets the notification because he texted me, he's like,
Right.
"Hey, were you recently in such and such?" I'm like, "Yep, you know, I had to put you on, man." So, but once again, you know, and thank you so much for for that shout out. But it's another thing, you know, I just want to use whatever kind of platform I have. Like if somebody nominates, because that's how the situation works. Like somebody nominates you for something, and I, you know, Jordan knows, but in general, I don't ever know who it is. And you know, whoever that is, you know, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yeah, and I just want to use my platform to be able to, you know, tell them about other awesome people. You know, I know at a certain point I've put
Same.
all of you guys' names down. You know, like just, you know, but because I want people to, you know who you guys are, because you know, all of you are awesome, and I definitely feel like I'm in a group of people, and I'm like attached to a group of amazing scientists, you know, and I just want everybody to know about B-SCI. So every chance I get, you know, it doesn't matter where it is. I even had a couple of my guests, specifically, well, I can't even remember his name right now, but there's a couple of them. But they've been, I wear my B-SCI shirt whenever I record, and they just been like, "Dude, what is that? Like, where?" And then I've, you know, broken it down and explained the whole thing. And after, they might even, you know, have gotten some. So after the podcast, they're like, "Hey, man, shoot me the link so I can get that, so I can get a sweater just like yours," you know. And they tell me that they love B-SCI and they, you know, really like the organization and they want to support. So, you know, yeah, I try to support
Right.
you guys.
It's funny because you
us
said
and
something about
uplift
the
us all
T-shirt,
the
and
time. So.
like 2 seconds before you said that, I was looking at like the shirt you're wearing right now. I'm like, damn, that's a nice shirt. Where'd you get that from? And I'm like, of course you got it from the store.
I feel like I've seen this shirt before.
Right.
Where have I seen it?
But where is
That
that
looks so familiar.
sweater? Nah, man, it's nice. This is my favorite one. This one in the gray one. I still have to buy a white one. I still gotta, but white.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
scared
just so
too.
scared of wearing white because
Yeah,
I am too.
man,
My locks will tear it up.
you know, it's like.
Yeah.
And then I'm really clumsy. Like I'm, you know, I sometimes when I'm drinking, I
yeah.
miss my mouth. You know, I don't know.
You should see
I have
my lock
horrible
coats
hand
at
eye
the lab. I know I shouldn't be
coordination.
doing this, but there's coffee stains all
The
over, and the
collar.
collar is messed up. I'm like, well, I
Yes,
mean, it is what it is.
It is
man.
what it is.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
and
it
it's the
is what
same way with me.
it
It's
is.
like even though my lab coat gets washed, it's incredibly dirty. It's stuff that just will not come out. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I mean, holes
Yeah.
before I started actually closing my lab jacket. Before I got in trouble about that, I had holes all in my shirts and sweaters from acid falling off. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. Like,
Yep.
so yeah, white. I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna just have to look at it because as soon as I put it on, it's getting ruined.
Right. Speaking of, I know both of you guys. I mean, well, I think everyone here actually has worked in a lab at some point. I know some of you guys are actively doing it. Tell me, like, some of your like favorite lab stories, or even like some of your like lab stories that you're like, ooh, man, like should not have done that.
Okay, so it. Oh, should I say?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's nothing that I actually did, but this was back in college. And I never thought I would see something like that because you know everybody's taking you know labs, and we've seen those old lab VHS tapes where you know is the the like the movie or the whatever is like breaking down and it's so old, and they show the little mannequin catching on fire and what you're supposed to do, and then they hilariously throw the fire blanket over the mannequin and all that kind of stuff. So I was so surprised. One day I was in microbiology back when I went to Atlanta Metropolitan State College, and I I probably could have helped this girl out a lot sooner if I wasn't in shock. Like, and another thing about me, if you know me, my reaction time is horrible. So, if you can't really drive that well and I'm in the passenger seat, we gonna both die because I can't yank the wheel fast enough to get you out of the way of oncoming traffic. So, but that's a whole other story.
Well, thank you for that. I'll keep that in mind.
Right.
Please keep that in mind, because the next part of this story is going to really make sense. So what ended up happening was I'm doing my work, really concentrating, sweating bullets because I sweat when I'm nervous. And then I look up and my lab partner's hair is literally on fire. And I'm just like, like literally my mouth is like,
Oh, Jack.
Wait, like smoking, like singed, like the fire's out, or like actively burning on fire?
This part of her hair is actively on fire, like completely.
No.
And I know at least 3 seconds went by.
Oh my God.
Wait, you didn't know? She wasn't aware?
No, she wasn't aware at all.
No.
Wasn't aware at all. Yeah. So eventually, I told her, and then the person that was sitting next to her was like, "Oh my God," and she patted it out, but. No, my girl's hair was on fire because we were working with Bunsen burners at the time. And hey, by the way, guys, anybody that might be in sciences or, you're taking science classes and you're not in the field, please, tie your hair up, when you're working with Bunsen burners. Like, I understand everybody's got long, pretty hair, like Dr. Tolson, you got long, pretty dreads, but tie them things up, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your hair to catch on fire. Like, please. So that's what happened, and yeah, she's okay though. She didn't need to get taken to the hospital or anything, but she's fine.
That's pretty scary. That's
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, I've definitely seen a bunch of people just kind of like right over top of the Bunsen burner trying to get it to start, and it's like, please, you are really making me nervous. Especially like freshmen. Oh.
Oh,
no, they don't believe it's safety.
They don't at all.
Aren't we all a little teeny bit like I need to wear gloves? Next thing you know, you got copper and silver all over your hands because it's stained.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know for me, the one that I was like, I need to be better about being in the lab was that we were working with like brine, so we were doing like splitting like salt water basically, and like someone was like, yeah, like chloride, like you shouldn't sniff that, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah. And don't bring your head too close to the glass because if you do, you're going to get a whiff of it. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I got an immediate whiff and was like, oof, like I might die today. I might die. I had to take a couple seconds.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, that's seriously a dangerous situation. That's happened to me a few times actually, where someone's like, "Oh, hey, can you watch this?" and they don't tell you what's in it, and the next thing you know, it's like you can't even breathe, literally, because whatever fuming acid you have, coming up your nostrils. Don't want that. Don't want that. Shouldn't have happen. It should be in the fume hood, if anything. Like,
should be in the fume hood.
I can always tell who's a scientist. Maybe Chad and Jordan, you guys probably can't relate to this, but whenever you go, well, I guess nobody can right now because we're in the panini still. But there used to be a time before we all got on lockdown and being good little eggs and staying inside or wearing our masks, right? There was a time where if you went to the perfume counter, you would spray on the little thing and then you would waft it, right? Because you should waft. But then there's some people that are like this, right? And you're sniffing. It's like, no, you never directly sniff anything. You never ever do that. So you can always tell people who are either have some lab experience because they're like this. They gently waft things like this. You can always tell. That's always been interesting to me too. The little things that we bring with us into regular life.
Yeah, I mean, I even have to, at this point, I have to catch my mom because she loves mixing and all these different cleaning supplies and stuff.
Cleaning product. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, in the chat, man, you listening right now. I keep telling you about this.
She'll be mixing bleach and ammonia,
everything.
And I'm like,
ammonia, yep.
This is not okay. Pine Sol, all of them. They just all in the mix, and I'm like, I'm for real. It's not worth it.
Yeah, nah. Cleaning products. I like that was like the one thing I took away from like Chem 1 and 2 was like, do not mix these. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's in these things. You don't know how they're going to make. You don't know how to. And I kept telling my I tell my mom this all the time. All right, mama. I don't know.
Yeah, and my mom likes to be like, "Oh, well, I'm grown. I can do what I want."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, Miss Ma'am,
I'm gonna tell your mama."
Yeah,
exactly.
Pass out.
Yes.
Nope. She's probably listening right now. She's probably gonna call me later and be like, "Don't be talking about me. Don't be talking about business on your live stream." It's fine.
Oh my god,
it's cool.
It happens to the best of us. I know my mom called me in a panic one time. I think she was making like a lotion or something, and she was like, "Chad, what's going on?" I'm like, "What happened, Mom?" She's like, "I burnt through this bowl that I'm using." I'm like, "What? What did you use?"
Plastic or something?
Yeah, it was some plastic. And she called me freaking out. I'm like, "Mom, like, come on, man." She's constantly doing something. Like she is awesome. It's never a dull moment with my mom. So.
Is that where you get it from, Chad? Your scientific inquiry? Is it come from your mom?
Nice.
It literally comes from my mom. Like she's amazing. She's completely her and my father. Definitely a huge inspiration behind everything that I do. Like literally, I just think it's so funny that I ended up working in science as a career because literally. I remember back when I was in elementary school, and when you guys you had your first like job fair, or you had to dress up as what you wanted to do. When I was a little kid, I was like, "Mom, you got to get me a lab coat, and you got to get me some glasses." Like that's literally what I want to do from when I was a little kid. So, and I never thought it was like a reality. It was always like a fantasy, and I talk about that a lot in my podcast and at the NSPN event with Jordan and Khalil. It was something that I looked at as like a fantasy because I would always, number one, I didn't really see a lot of myself. My hero when I was growing up was Bill Nye, and I watched a lot of Dexter's Lab, and I like Spider-Man. Yeah, and I watched Spider-Man and all these superheroes that were scientists. I'm like, I could never do that, but I think it's great. And, when I got older and got around a lot of other people that were doing it, and I was like, wow, okay, I guess this is, attainable. So, it's just crazy how stuff works out, man. And plus having amazing parents that truly supported me.
Right.
So, yeah, they're awesome.
How does it feel, or have you ever thought about it, right? So, like, we share a similar background with not having seen ourselves, in the sciences. So now that in of course, technology was totally different when we were kids too, right? So now we're everywhere.
For sure.
So how does it feel, or have you thought about like there's a kid looking at you like that's what I want to do?
You know what? It's really amazing because I've had a couple of experiences. One, there was this chemistry camp that I was a part of not too long ago, and they played back the audio for me, and there were just little kids, talking about, I want to do what he does and all that and I can actually hear it, so I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, that's so cool. I'm just happy I can, inspire, anybody. Like, it's just crazy. And then I had another experience where, which was another fantasy of mine growing up. When I was in undergrad, I would literally sit in class, and while I'm struggling trying to do chemistry or microbiology, and I'd be like, gosh, man, one day, I really hope that I'm able to, that my school calls me back because I'm successful doing something. And they're like, hey, I want you to talk to, these kids and get these kids right and, inspire these kids. And one day I was in the parking lot of Walmart, and I broke down, like literally. I was so emotional because my shout out to Dr. Candace Chapman. She's the the head of the biology department at Atlanta Metropolitan State College, my alma mater, and she sent me a message on Facebook wanting to know if I would talk to a research class. And it was crazy how stuff just like it goes full circle, because I was in that class not too long ago, going to, before COVID happened, of course, going to other people's laboratories. We went to, and see how different scientists worked, and they would tell us different things. So for it to only be a couple of years later, and now I'm sitting on the other side where they asked me to come into that class, and it was an amazing experience. Something I've done it twice. Something I'll never forget. And one of the students, actually, we talked a little bit, because I told her how my mom, she was in natural medicine and all of that good stuff, and she wanted to go to college for that. And she was just asking me the mechanism for like, how do I make this career work for me? And I, got a chance to tell her about what I did in undergrad, and how I made the leap from undergrad to graduate school, and kind of the steps I took, like in and out of, my academic career and just professionally. And she emailed me after that meeting and asked me even more questions. She said that she really liked the talk, and she just wanted to know a little bit more about the research that I had done. And this was before she actually got into medical school. And this woman is now getting her medical degree in natural medicine. So,
awesome.
It's just a full circle thing. I'm so proud of her. So it's been an amazing experience. So yeah, that's a kind of long-winded way to answer your question, but I never thought this would happen, and just to be living it and to actually get the opportunity and the blessing to see how you touch certain people. It's priceless, man. Like I always tell people all the time, like, this is the pinnacle for me, because when I was struggling through school, having different advisors that weren't really on my side at the time, to pretty much trying to navigate my life and not knowing where it was going, to be at this point to where I get to look at it from the other side. I'm successful. I get to help other people that might be in the same shoes that I was in back then. That's amazing. Like, anything that happens beyond this point, and then getting to meet all of you guys, and getting to get inside your community, and all of the opportunities that have come to me because of that. Anything that happens to me beyond this point is just the icing on the cake.
You're
like,
here,
in my
and
book,
you belong
I'm
here.
Right.
I love it.
Yep.
So well spoken too. Like,
Thank you.
That's amazing how when you said just now, so Chad, when you said, and then having some advisors who may not have been on your side, I don't know if you noticed this, but all three of us nodded our heads. I think that's some of that experience, right? It's like, it's amazing how so many of us have that experience. And, but we're not going to talk about that today, but just saying.
Yeah, it's real, and that's another thing that helped me out, because I talk about it in the in one of the, I think it's the Shout Out Atlanta article, about how even after I graduated, I still felt I felt alone, because I was like, because people don't talk about it. Nobody likes to talk about how their advisor didn't help them out, or how they thought they were stupid at one point, or how it's nobody. That's not a conversation that people like to have. But when I met you guys and I started talking to Jordan, and I've read articles about you guys, just to see who I'm with, and just to seeing that you guys' stories mirror each other, and we come from similar backgrounds, and everybody isn't perfect, because that's what it seems like from the outside. It seems like, wow, all of these people have it extremely together, and especially, if you're not in the sciences at all, it looks like everybody's just on point all the time. So to be able to kind of peel back that layer and get a chance to converse with you guys and others, and see that, we've all been through a lot of similar situations and have similar backgrounds. It's it's refreshing, and it made me feel like I belonged somewhere, and I had a community, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of the way B-SCI started, honestly, is because I started asking around, like, who wanted to help make this happen, because after graduating from Penn State, like I went back home to Philly because I didn't feel like I was a good scientist at all, and was like, I'm gonna just go take out like community classes, and like physics and like calculus so I can feel better. And that whole time I was sleeping on the floor, and even though my mom was like, "Why are you sleeping on the floor?" I was like, "I need to sleep on the floor so I can become a better scientist," which didn't make any sense looking back about it now. But that's how isolated I felt. I feel like I put myself in a position where I needed to be even more isolated to get to the point where I could become a good scientist. And the one blessing out of that was that one night I just couldn't sleep, and then I drew a logo on the whiteboard, and it became the B-SCI logo basically. So that's kind of how it all happened. So yeah, it really is like those moments where you like realize that you need that community, and you can seek it out, which I kind of did a little bit, and definitely over the last years, definitely been growing because B-SCI has been growing, or you sometimes you just got to go like, why not me? And so those moments do make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's something to be said about believing in yourself, despite what's going on around you. Because I think that's something we've all had to deal with and go through, along with like people being there for us and encouraging us to do those things. But really, it comes down to like doing the thing, and that can only be done from within. So I'm happy to be here with all of you because you all always encourage me to be a better scientist, be a better person, because you're all so loving and giving. And I wanted to ask you, Dr. Tolson, about STEM Noir, because that was a pinnacle moment, like a pinnacle conference for just doing that. Exactly. Do you want to speak on
Listen,
that?
listen. Shout out to Keelan Ashad. Excuse me, Dr.
Dope, dope.
Keelan Ashad Bishop, and the soon-to-be Dr. Teresa Mekla. Okay, because the two of them had this vision, right? And I learned this as being part of the conference planning committee. I learned this was part of the vision from when they were in undergrad together. So imagine how long this has been put into play, and to finally see it and to be a part of seeing it play out and to help it come to fruition was such an honor. I am so honored to have been a part of the process and looking forward to 2022. If you all missed STEM Noir 2021 conference, it was virtual because, COVID got us in a panoramic. So we're here now, right? But next year, we're hoping that people are doing their part and we'll be able to go and travel a little bit more freely next year. But next year, we talking about Puerto Rico. Okay, so ladies, if you are unfamiliar with STEM Noir is a Black women's STEM and holistic wellness retreat. So when you come to the conference, we're talking about our business, we're handling our business, we're talking about science, research, papers, publications, all kinds of things, right? Networking, job offers, all kinds of things that are happening, right? In the STEM Noir community. But then it's about holistic wellness. It's about being a healthy individual. Being a Black woman is what it is, right? And we can relate to that. And it's so awesome to come together, other women who not only understand because they're not just empathetic, but they have that lived experience as well. So when we come together and we're sharing our stories and when we are bonding, it is really a bond that's based on a lived experience. And it's really awesome. It's awesome. It's so awesome. I'm so happy to I'm proud to have been a part of it, and I'm looking forward to it next year. So if you're a Black woman in STEM and you need a place that is super inclusive and people are really like, hey, I got you, sis. Like if you reach out to somebody and say, hey, I need help with this. If you are not expecting a text message back, don't come over here where we at. Because we're going to be like, oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. I don't know, but sis know. Let me hook you up with her. So that's the kind of the vibe that Sonora is on. So shout out to Dr. Kalana and Todd Bishop and the soon-to-be Dr. Teresa Melka, because they really did a thing, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to be a part
For
of
sure.
it. Remember.
Definitely a big fan of STEM Noir too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like every time I see.
Oh wait,
yeah,
I got one more
yeah.
thing. It was the first. Jana,
Oh,
I'm so
yeah.
sorry. It was the first. This is the 1st of its kind. There is no other group like STEM Noir. STEM Noir is the first of its kind. It is the first Black women in STEM conference and holistic wellness retreat. You ain't gonna find nowhere else.
No.
You just see like the highlights from the event, like because even to today, I'm just like, wow, they really did that. Like that was the place to be. So honestly, like I can't express it enough. Definitely don't want to miss out. I'm definitely going next year. So
are you going?
Oh yeah.
Save your coins, sis.
Okay.
Save your coins now.
I'm gonna start now.
Save your coins now.
Where's it?
Get your little stash put away a little bit. $50 a paycheck or something. But look, stash it away. Because we're going.
If it happens in person, where will it be?
We're going to be in Puerto Rico in San Juan.
I'm gonna go ahead and learn me a little Spanish.
San Juan.
I'm gonna get right. All of that. So yeah. It looked like a lot of fun organizing it, because it just looked like, y'all really are a family, trying to make something great. So just being able to see the behind the scenes during and after, I'm just like, wow, like it's pretty incredible what you guys were able to accomplish. So
did you get a chance to catch any of the speakers? The speakers were dynamic.
Yeah.
The speakers themselves were so dynamic. We had Dr. Monica Cox. We had Dr. Opara in public health. We had so many. It was just, man,
incredible. And from all over, like people were tuning in from all over the place.
All over the world. All over the world. Trinidad, parts of Africa. I believe we had some other people in the Caribbean as well. I want to say we had someone from Cuba. I want to say, but I'm not quite sure. I don't want to say that if it's not true. But we had parts of the Caribbean everywhere. STEM Noir was everywhere. We worldwide.
Worldwide.
Dope. So, we've been talking about a lot about how we've kind of come up and stuff, but Dr. Tolson, you were kind of getting to it earlier, but like, what are your, like, everyone's, like, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do with science dream? What is that dream? Imagine that.
What would I do with science?
Yeah.
So, okay, if I won the Mega Millions,
right. Mm-hmm.
Like the big Mega Million, like remember, like earlier this year, it was like $1 billion, and one person won it,
and they're like, Dr. Tolson won.
Listen, if I won that $1 billion Mega Millions, even if I didn't win the $1 billion, if I won the Mega Millions, the first thing I would do, everybody that I know, like I know you, everybody that I know, student loan debt.
That's what I'm talking
wiped out.
That's the answer right there.
Because student loan debt is a burden.
Yes.
Listen, that should nobody have to bear. Education is way too expensive. And these days and times, right, we are getting educated, but our jobs are not paying us the value of our education. I'm not going to say what we're worth, because paying what you're worth is that's subjective, right? But what is objective is you now have this mountainous pile of debt for an education that's not paying you enough to take care of that debt, let alone live. You know what I mean? And of course, you don't go to school just to make money, but I would like to make enough that I can buy myself something nice every now and then. Like I would like to eat outside of my own house. Like, can I get dessert one day? Can I have cheesecake? You know what I mean? Like, do I gotta make a decision between am I gonna pay the light bill or am I gonna have myself a nice dinner, right? With a little glass of wine. Like, it shouldn't. Those are not choices we should make. That's the first thing I would do, right?
Agreed.
So everyone's debt is like wiped out. Then I would make sure. So I couldn't afford to go to college, right? And I wasn't able to. My parents couldn't afford to send me to things like space camp or chem camp or those kinds of things, math camp, right? Although I don't like math anyway, so shout out to not having money for that. Math is my friend, right?
Fair.
We do what we have to do. We do what we have to, right? I made it. I passed. Okay, calculus and everything. Right. Woo. Okay. But I would make sure that I would have a fund so that any little kid, any little chocolate face that looked like me, if they wanted to go to camp, they can go to camp.
I like that.
They can go to space camp. They can go to, see Mae Jemison's face on the wall. They can do all that kind of stuff. They can see, Raven the Science Maven, right? So Raven the Science Maven met her husband at math camp.
No.
Did you all know that?
I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, so their backstory is they met years and years ago at math camp, and then somewhere down the line, they met up again, and they fell in love, and then they got married. So, things like that, though, the things that come from that, that's what I would do. And then I would have my own show.
Right.
I want that now, actually. But let's go ahead and talk about what I would do if I had the money. I produce it myself. I talk about STEM, public health, and how those things mesh together, how understanding basic STEM concepts informs public health decisions, like washing your hands is a very ancient concept, but it seems pretty novel nowadays of why people don't understand you have to wash your hands to prevent infection in your body Washing your body is very important. That's really big lately in the social media streets. Everyone's not washing their bodies on a regular basis. So can we do a tangent really quick on that?
Yes,
Sure.
I was
please.
hoping you would,
Yes,
honestly.
please.
Because,
I want
oh
to
my
spill
God.
something because there was a whole Twitter fiasco, right? People were like in the comments, right, and they were like ready to box over because I said like you need to wash your body regularly, like hopefully on a daily basis, right? People ready to box me, like, well, I forget what they call it, what do they call it? Some kind of hypothesis theory about cleaning, and I was just the misinformation that was being spread. They were saying that washing yourself, taking a daily bath or shower is not good for your health because it's not good for your skin. It dries your skin out and it makes you more susceptible to infections or whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's why you moisturize.
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole point. But again, STEM concept, right? It's not the washing that's bad for you. Washing prevents the spread of disease, especially infectious diseases, right? We know this. Because if not, we wouldn't have implemented, bathing or washing or sterilizing ourselves before we go into surgery, right? Because we know that washing, cleaning, disinfecting prevents the spread of disease. What makes you sick after bathing, if you happen to get sick, is because washing, you typically use a soap. Soap is a surfactant. It's a degreaser. It removes oils. Well, your body, your skin, if it's healthy, has its own natural oils, right? So if you're using soap and doing it the right way, you're going to strip those oils off. That makes sense because soap is doing its job. So if you have broken skin allows things that should not be in the body to get in the body through those broken areas. Which is why there are sometimes like deodorant and other things, it'll say, do not apply to broken skin because that means it can get in there and be absorbed into your body. That's why they say that, right? So now put those two concepts together. If you have moisturized skin, it is healthy and protected. It does its job. It keeps things that should not be inside your skin from getting in. So healthy, moisturized skin is not dry and cracked. There's no entryway for anything to get in. So moisturized skin is healthy and stops things from getting into your body. So if you are washing your body to rid your body of I should say dessert, have mercy, of disease, of disease and infection, right? So you don't spread it to someone else. When you moisturize after removing all those natural body oils, you replace that barrier. So now your skin is back to doing its job, keeping the bad stuff out of your body. So the key, my friends, my lovely, lovely ladies and gentlemen friends, is to not just wash your body, but to moisturize your skin so that it can be a tip-top shape, eye working condition, and keep all the bad guys out. Anything doesn't make you sick. It's the dry, cracked skin that does. Moisturize, make good choices.
Right.
A whole word. Wow.
Breaking it down for the people.
Thank you.
That's it.
Because, I mean, go ahead, Jenna.
No, I was just going to say, and I was going to ask for clarification, Dr. Tolson. If you really are having such a reaction that your body is reacting negatively to some soap, maybe you should see a dermatologist. Is it really that deep? There
are people that can help you with this. Yes. They specialize in skin disorders. They can help you with this.
I see no reason why people should be making excuses for this kind of thing. So
I also think about it from just this is how I kind of think about that conversation. It's like a colonizer standpoint where it's like you've taken so much away from people. Like there's been a whole debate about people using bidets, about why people shouldn't do that, why people shouldn't focus on that stuff. And it's like you've taken so much away from those people to tell them that it's not healthy for them, even though that they figured out a long time ago that it was probably the better thing. How does that make sense? I don't know. It's not a question that I don't think anybody really can answer, but it's just something I think about. That seems very, it's just crazy. I don't know. That the whole debate is just wild. I don't know, but I'm glad Dr. Tolson cleared it up for us.
Me too.
Yeah, and I mean I'm already.
Go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I was already concerned from the get-go when people were having a tough time just washing their hands. Being told to wash for 20 seconds and them just losing their mind over that at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm just like, y'all really having a hard time washing your hands? Oh,
yes.
No.
Some people don't understand. And something else that happens, too, that I've noticed in comments. Some people think that because they're in their own home, if I'm in public, I might do it. If I'm in my own home, I don't have to do it. And I'm thinking that isn't the purpose of washing your hands, because your house is dirty. You're touching your personal spaces. You're touching your personal spaces and that needs to be washed off. You don't want to touch your personal space and then touch everything else. You know what I mean? That's why you're doing it. You're not washing because your house is dirty. It's because you don't want your personal spaces, fluids to get other things. Is that safe for TV? Personal spaces, fluids?
I think that's fine. It's scientific enough, and it makes perfect sense. I agree. Like I just don't understand like what the conversation is like.
It's a whole conversation, man. Because like even right before. Now it's like it's scary to me. Like I actually have like PTSD, man, from going to these public places, like public restrooms and stuff. Because before the pandemic, me and my brother, we were like heavy concert goers, and we would go to these different venues, and we would go in the bathrooms. And I don't know how many times I've seen somebody walk inside a stall, walk right back out whistling and happy, and did not wash their hands. I'm like, oh my god. And these are the same people. No. And these are the same people at these venues when the concert's going on. Because I'm the kind of guy. I don't know if y'all can picture it. I'm a big dude, but I literally mosh pit. I mosh pit, and I go pretty crazy. And these are the same people touching you and shaking you and putting their arms around you, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, this is gross. I'm like, oh my god, and you know, it's pretty bad, man. I don't understand also the whole thing about not washing your body, because I'm not really big on TikTok, but my mom, she's a huge TikToker, and every day she sends me, she's like, Chad, you gotta look at this article. Chad, you gotta look at this. You're not gonna believe what this celebrity says, and like it's always a new celebrity talking about, you only really need to wash like twice a week.
Like they got all this money and they can't afford no soap, really?
Oh, they can afford it.
They definitely can.
They're choosing not to use the soap.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
They can afford the good kind too. They can afford the kind of soap that has the emollients built into it. They can afford a good.
You know.
Oh my god!
I'm like, if you
there
don't
was one where it was like
to me, because
there was this celebrity who was like, I don't watch the kids. Like I don't watch her kids until this thing. I'm like, no, you don't watch the kids, but I'm sure the nanny is watching the kids. Like this, like you just like the entitlement and privilege in some of those like statements. It's just mind blowing. I just am just like, wow, crazy. Okay, sure.
Jordan,
and they sit there.
Go ahead, Chad.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and they sit there like they know what they're talking about.
Right.
It's all privileged and stuff, and they stink. It is what it is. Yeah. But go ahead.
So Jordan said the privilege, right? And I actually made a comment because, like I said, they're ready to box me in the comment section. I was like, all because I said take a bath. Like what? Like I'm providing you scientific evidence. Public health has told us. Bathing, washing yourself prevents the spread of it. Like, this is not a novel concept. This is not novel at all, right? But they're like, boom, 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 like, whoa. But the privilege, right? The privilege that you are able to say, I do not wash my body regularly, and not just regularly, like maybe once, twice a week, right? The privilege that one must have to be able to declare that on the World Wide Web and have people back you up, willing to fight over this. That is a privilege that not many, I don't believe, have.
No,
it's not. It's
that. That takes privilege to boldly declare that and have someone willing to fight on your behalf. I'm still, Chad, we're on the same page. I'm just, I was on mine.
No, it's disgusting. It's disgusting because you have certain places in the world where people they have to gather in one place at a certain point of day to get water, and that's all the water.
And they do it.
And they do it willingly, and we're over here like water,
basically.
Like, I don't want to drink it. Like, you know what I'm saying? People out here, you wonder why your skin's bad. You wonder why your hair is bad. You wonder why, your legs hurt, back hurt, and you're only 30. You don't drink water, bro.
You're not hydrated.
It baffles me. Have you seen that also? People are like, oh, I don't like water. I don't drink water. I'm like, what are you saying to me right now? What do you mean you don't drink water?
You can squirt fruit in it. You can squirt the teeny bit of juice. You can make it taste however you want it to taste. Just drink it.
Just do something. It never makes sense to me. It's like I mean, sure, like it doesn't have a taste. It's like what? It has. It's going to have some taste. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand.
Obviously,
it takes different brains taste different. Switch your water.
Right. Exactly. Like, obviously, they've never had a parent tell them that they need to finish everything on their plate or else.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's how I grew up. I don't know about y'all, but
Same,
that's the same thing with water. You better go drink some
Same.
water before you pass out. I'm not gonna take you. Nah, you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we're fighting a generation right now that hasn't had the joys of playing outside.
That good hose
in the hot
water
sun
beside the house.
and then the hose water. Yes, that's
My
exactly
man.
what I was about to say. Exactly what I was about to say. So we're fighting all of that too. We got folks. I realized, and I guess back in the day, if video games were as crazily realistic as they were now, I would have probably maybe been inside too. But I mean, gosh, guys, like everybody's living these ridiculously sedentary lifestyles. Like I said, you ain't drinking water. You got to do something. You got to do something. You're not bathing, and then it's like, and then it's made cool by social media because you guys know how fast like stuff can proliferate and spread on social media. It's like I'm not watching my butt. You know what? I'm not gonna watch mine either. They're co-signing it. They're co-signing. So I just look at and I'm like. And I'm not gonna lie, like I get angry sometimes because I'm like, Dr. Shenell Tolson's talking some great stuff. Jordan's over here talking some great stuff. Like B-SCI's out here killing it. Other organizations are out here killing it. We telling the truth. We're bringing it to you the way it's supposed to be. They're just like,
yeah. It's like so many like Black science organizations and other science organizations work so hard just to do that work and just being like, this is why you should do this basic thing. This is why you should do this basic thing. Like this is why coronavirus is not caused by 5G. And then someone in the comments goes like, here's a YouTube video I found that says it is caused by 5G. And everything that anybody ever said before that is immediately off the table. And it's just like, what happened? I don't understand.
It's like people
what happened? Like, don't even get me started on
the term peer reviewed and they just took off.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't. You're not using this the way you think.
You mean my peers? Like my peers? Like people are like writing. No, not those peers. Yeah, my neighbor down the street. Yeah.
They're my peer. Okay. Let's take a minute. Let's think about what we're saying.
Well, my cousin looked at it.
The barbershop. It's the barbershop conversation. You getting your haircut? It's like, hey man, I heard 5G was caused by mummies. Nigga, what? How? How does that work? That makes no sense.
And then the sources are very, very questionable at best. And so it's like, you ever get a keyboard gangster that's kind of like, you don't know what you're talking about? So, okay. So I made a reel. Reels are big now, right? I'm learning. So reels are big, right? Yeah. So I had a quick reel of this. So I did a reel. And it's like, can I have your attention, please? And then I put the signs as real, whether you believe it or not. Then I said, that's it, thank you. That was it, right? Do you know that somebody got in my comments and said, science could be bought too? And I'm thinking like, sir/ma'am, do you know how much student loan that I have? No one's paying me anything to tell you that science is real. No. Okay. Nobody's paying me anything.
Like, I don't see you in my Venmo, so...
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's funny you said keyboard gangsters, and I'm thinking of Dorntainment's Thumb Thuggin'. I know Chad's a fan of Dorn. This
Thumb Thuggin', yes, yes. But it's real though, guys, because I even like when I post different things about COVID-19, I'm really concerned, because I don't want to. I'm at the point now where I'm scared to tell the truth, because I don't want people to be like to attack me, and it's like. I mean, literally, every post that you've ever seen that I made, I look at it for about 30 minutes before I post it. I'm like, am I really going to do it? Jordan will tell you, I text Jordan, I'm like, Jordan, what do you think about this, bro? Is this cool? Like, can I put the B-SCI stamp? Because I just don't, because when people start attacking, I don't want my homies to get attacked. I don't want to be like, in a world of like, 5G and magnetism, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, be ostracized out there by people that, don't like to listen to the science. So it's just one of those things, man. It's unfortunate, really.
If you guys are listening to us still, if you're still hanging with us, or if you're just tuned in, okay? We're talking about all things science and right now pop culture. But we are doing a fundraising event today, right? So please click the link for B-SCI. Give us $1. You got $1? Can we have it? Please. Just give us a little bit. We got a $500 fundraising goal today. We really want to meet it. So if you're still with us, you just got here. Tell a friend, share this whole thing, and tell them to give us $1. Please and thank you. Just want to get that out there. In case y'all are
we appreciate it.
Yeah, for real.
I just retweeted it too. I
sure.
retweeted the link that we're going live. So we live, and I just said, "Hey, you got $1? Can we have it?" So I just retweeted.
just give us the dollar.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah.
I love that y'all dropping me.
And if you can't, I'm sure you know someone who can.
That's right.
Just like and share. You know that I've read that that's one of the best ways to just get the word out. It helps sometimes. I mean, we got earlier this month we got $150 from just asking around. We got a new mic. Jenna got a new mic because of it. So yeah, I mean it helps.
Using it today.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. It's going to go towards a lot of things. We're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, a B-SCI magazine. We've got so many things that are in the works to help get B-SCI, on the map and more out there, I guess, more exposed to the world, to other scientists. If you want to be a scientist, come see us too, because that's what the B is for. Be scientists, like, come on,
right.
Come join us. We'd love to meet. We meet more people, in general. But we'd love to have you join us too. And we all over. Sure. I'm in Maryland.
Right. Chad.
Yep. Yeah, ATL, man. ATL, Georgia. You already know.
Yes.
Already know.
And me and Jenna are here at UGA, but Jenna, you're from Savannah.
Yeah, I'm from Savannah.
Right.
So, represent the 912 for the one time.
Hey.
Janae's North Carolina, right?
South Carolina.
Okay.
Tellers in Chicago. I think Chicago. And of course, Philly on the map, 215.
Kala's in Philadelphia, right?
Kala's in Philly too, yeah.
So
we all over.
All over.
Yeah.
Right.
But really, it's like Dr. Tolson was saying, your support is infinite, but we can't do it without some monetary support as well. So,
right.
Just $1, $5, whatever you got. I just drove past Starbucks this morning, and the line was wrapped around the building. So,
right.
Are people still going to Starbucks?
My addiction.
Apparently.
They don't like us, right, Chad?
Like I said, my addiction. I love coffee.
They don't like us, Chad.
I'm a coffee.
I do kind of take the Starbucks thing personally because there was the incident that happened with Starbucks and that was in Philly.
It's still happening.
Yeah, it was like two things that happened in Philly, and I was like, oh, okay. And I also think Dunkin' Donuts is kind of better. So.
I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all. I love y'all, but
hey,
look, gotta be Starbucks coffee.
I gotta. That's hot.
There's black-owned coffee too.
I'm gonna eat you up when we get off this live. I'm gonna eat you up, Chad. I'm like, really?
Here's what Dr. Tolson, you should come out with a coffee line. I'm telling you would kill it.
So I know two right now.
I'll
share that in the chat when we get done with this.
Okay.
Chad, I'm gonna move you. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. You will be moved, Mountains. Chad. You will be moved. Okay.
Look! I don't discriminate.
But Chad, say that part again. You don't do what?
It's just so enticing,
They do.
Okay.
I don't discriminate.
Ooh, she got you there though.
Oh,
she did.
But that triple
here,
chocolate
Chad.
mocha, guys. That triple.
But Dunkin'
chocolate.
Donuts
You need chocolate and coffee. And I got to hook up on both. I'm just saying. That's what I'm hearing you say. Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Send it to me because I would definitely buy it.
Sure.
But yeah, if you sit in that Starbucks line right
Definitely,
now,
for sure.
surely you got enough money to send us $1 or two.
You can send us $1.
So that's all I'm saying.
I mean, honestly, we could take the 50 cent.
I mean,
Keep
I'm not gonna lie.
If you are listening to us right now, here's my challenge.
There you go.
Take a look at your last receipt and look at the change and what you spent. If you could donate the rounded up amount to $1 to B-SCI, we will be appreciative of that. So, for example, let's say you spent $14.95. If you donated that 5 cents to us, rounded to that $1, that would be so awesome. And then tell 2 of your friends to do the same thing. Just saying. I mean, we like to have more, but we're trying to work with everybody. Everybody's budget, right? You could do 5 cents.
Everybody got a budget.
Everybody got a budget.
And I'm just saying also, I know, myself included, have definitely ordered something on Uber Eats or whatever. And it's the delivery fee alone. I should have just gotten some food that was already in the house. But,
is
if you can pay that delivery fee for whatever you're getting, come on. I know you can do this.
We trying to admonish you to give us $1, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean that.
Yes.
Yes. If you could pay for a $15 Subway sandwich,
I mean, the tuna fish sandwich from Subway apparently don't have tuna fish in it. So I mean, you can give us to a
really?
apparently that happened last year.
See, I don't know.
Like so,
from there. So
what is
apparently someone was like, I don't know how it went down, but basically there was like an article out there. I think it was like in the Times or something where it was like, yeah, tuna fish and Subway sandwich ain't tuna. And I was like, oh, word? Because that was the sandwich I was always getting at Subway. So I don't know what I was eating. So I was like, I'm not going back to Subway no more.
And then whatever marketing team.
No.
Oh, yeah, the rubber mats. Remember the rubber mats were in the bread? The same materials they used in rubber mats for yoga mats?
Yep. What, Joy,
you remember that? That's when I stopped eating them. Yeah.
Subway?
Yeah, they changed the formula.
I didn't know
so their
about
bread
that.
has a new formula now because one of the compounds in yoga mats, it's what made their bread so pliable and stretchy and soft. It was like yoga mat ingredients. They had to change the recipe so much out and told everybody.
Just like what?
Wow.
That was it for me. I stopped. I haven't eaten it since.
Somebody's watching.
So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we not getting Starbucks endorsement, or we not getting Subway endorsement.
Clearly, we're not, right? Clearly. I mean, they changed the recipe. That's what they said, but I wasn't taking any chances. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
No, I'm not. I was done after the tuna fish one. The bread just took me over the. I'm never going back.
And I mean, if you want us to do, listener at home,
That's
if you
crazy.
want us to do a deep dive on what we're talking
Ooh,
about,
yeah,
we could do that, but we need your support. So.
Right.
Hey, I like how you do that, Jen.
Jana and I have been talking about doing deep dive episodes where we kind of like go into like specific issues.
What's in your
we could definitely. What's in your food sounds like a great episode. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You could take down the fast food industry
For sure.
And like obviously we are
you
not
guys.
experts, but the people who we could reach out to, not everybody can work for free. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
And shouldn't. You shouldn't work.
Exactly.
Work is a paid platform. It's work.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be. So we should pay them for their labor also. Fun activity. I did this with one of my classes a few years ago, right? So when I first started teaching, I was doing tech courses, teaching pharmacy technicians how to be farm techs, right? And so one of their courses was microbiology. And so we're talking about preservatives and whatnot. I was talking to them about healthy eating. So I've always been public health babe, clearly, right? So healthy eating and whatnot. And so I did 2 experiments with them. The first one was I told them to go buy, remember the I can't say the name brand because I don't want to have a problem. But remember, we know in our house, we share, see, this is where culture comes in. I don't even have to say the name. You already know what it is. There's a certain tub of spread that may or may not have had what should have been inside there in your fridge, right? So I said, okay, well, go ahead and get a small tub, right? A small tub, only $1. I said, go get it, open it, and set it outside. And they said, why? I'm not wasting that. I said, get the small ones, only $1. They said, okay. And so I said, set it outside, and what happens? Now, I know what's going to happen, but, they don't know. So a week later, like, nothing happened. I said, what you mean nothing happened? They said, it's the same. I said, how's it the same? They said, it's the same. I said, did the bugs eat it? They said, no. I said, does that sound right to you? And they were like, nah. So the fact that they didn't understand, like, margarine and butter are 2 very different things. Margarine is so complex and so processed, it's not really food. Even the bugs won't eat it. You put something outside, ants are ready to get it, right? So we did that. We also we took 4 fast food restaurants, popular chains. Will not say those either for obvious reasons. And I set them out in the classroom. So I printed the receipts out. I just got the regular value meal, right? So I got a value meal for each of those. And I took the receipt and I highlighted the date and I put it on a tray in the classroom. We left it out for 2 months that I had them. Then after they rotated, we kept it in the classroom. And I had them week by week keep a log about the smell, the feel, and the look. And they broke everything open. And so even things like the cheese. I said, what does cheese look like? They said, it smells the same. I said, yeah, but what does it look like? They said, nothing. I said, but it's cheese. And so I guess their mind's working, right? And they're like, but should it be molded? I said, should it? Is it a dairy product? They're like, yeah. I said, is this a dairy product? And now their minds are like, I'm like, these are the things that you're eating. So when you eat these things, yeah, they're cost effective, but what are you eating? Like, well, how's that possible? Preservatives. So we get into all kinds of things. Now we get into the STEM concept. What are preservatives, right? Preservatives keep things the way they should be, like in their current state, and they can't move from that state as quickly as they would in a normal state, right? And I go, give me an example. I said, besides food, what happens when you go to a funeral? And they're like, what? I said, what happens when you go to a funeral? When someone has made the transition and they're not here with us, we got to keep them preserved until everyone can come and view and say goodbye, right? They're like, yeah. I said, okay. They do that with preservatives. You're preserving it so it can't mold and decay. Because, you are organic, right? You are material. You're going to decay, and that's what's going to happen. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah. So we're eating that? I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So the STEM concept.
No,
yeah.
That's another episode for sure. Our deep dive, when we start doing deep dives more, I think those are all really good to do. Mm-hmm.
And again, STEM, public health.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like you almost can't blame. Like I said, you can't blame people because you got to look at number one, certain communities. A lot of things are advertised a lot more, and also these foods, you said yourself, like they're cost effective. So it's just like, and these low socioeconomic communities that can't afford all of these, all produce or everything that's labeled as organic and all of that kind of stuff, the stuff that's, good for you. What do you do? You know what I'm saying? Like when I got a family, I got, 6 kids at home, and, I'm not making ends meet, but they got to eat something, so, and I watch a commercial and I see, 5 for 5. Great. That's right. Exactly. So it's like, how do you combat that?
And we call those food swamps. So if you know what a food desert is, where you don't have access to clean eating foods, fruits and veggies and whatnot, produce and fresh foods. A food swamp is when your area is saturated with foods like Chad was describing, because they're economically sound.
Efficient.
So that's another episode. Food swamp, food deserts. We give you all this content. We can do, people, but we need your support. We need you to drop that dollar. Drop some dollars in our account so we can move forward and get these things going. It takes money to do the research behind these things, to get people to talk to us with the expertise about these things. We can bring you the science behind it. With the experts, it's going to take a little bit extra, and we don't have the extra. We need you to help us out with that. You got $1? Could we have it? Thank you.
Also, in terms of production value, I mean, we could make like this really amazing. So, I mean, I think B Scientists come a long way, but we could even take it further. Just like Shenell was just saying, just send us $1.
Exactly. And also, people are in tough times right now, and I get that. And it costs $0 to send this to someone else. Send this to your mom. Send this to your aunt who's into science, who's kind of quirky about different things, who got you into science maybe. It doesn't cost anything to help support us. But if you know someone who can, by all means, why not do that, So
hit up that rich auntie that loves you so much. She spoils you. Hit that rich auntie up. Be like, auntie.
Yes.
Can I have a 20? Right. And then you give us $1, have 19 for yourself.
And they always ask, right? Like, what are you going to use this money for? Oh, I'm going to go support my community. Oh, really? Here, you know what? Take 100.
Hey,
come on now.
And we still only want $1. I mean, you can give us more if you want to, but
we definitely.
Right. So let us help
I'm just saying. Yep.
Right.
Oh my god!
But we are around 120-ish, so we've kind of gone over a little bit. But I do want to let Dr. Tolson and Chad kind of get the last words in. So this is Be Scientist. So please tell the people how you encourage them to be scientists.
You want to go first, Chad?
I'm sure. Yeah, I can go first. So tell everybody how I would encourage them to be scientists. Well, like I always say on all of my posts, the biggest thing is I say be inquisitive. And a lot of people, when they think about what do I need to be a scientist, I tell all my kids this every time I have a talk, or every time I go back to my alma mater. I always say, hey, if you ask a question, if you're posing a question, if you're curious, if you want to do science, if you're into scientists and you're just interested, you're a scientist already. A lot of people will say, oh, I need this and I need that and I need 1 million degrees and I need, all of this stuff. I'm like, no, you don't. It's already there. Like, all you have to do is have the want to go ask a question or experiment or just, have science interest. That's really all it takes at the end of the day. And all I would say is just not give up. I talked a lot today about my advisors and how I felt coming up through undergrad and how hard it was for me. And the biggest thing the biggest takeaway I would like everybody to have from my story is that I never gave up. And that's with all the failures, because there was some. That's with all the successes. You can't be scared of any of that stuff. And it gets hard, but, no matter how hard it gets, guys, keep trying, keep pushing forward. If you're passionate about it, I guarantee you it will 100% work out for you in whatever capacity you want. So to all of my guys out there, all of my freaks and geeks, the Skur Round Table guys, all of my family from B-SCI, like I always say, be individuals, be inquisitive, and be scientists.
Hey,
that's all I got.
Close out with that. We should let you close out with that one.
Well, that's what I say every time I make a B-SCI post. That's what I put at the end.
I don't have to say anything
smooth.
else. That was so smooth, Jana. Wasn't it smooth?
Oh man, thank you guys.
I think we can close on that. I'm just gonna say, listen, don't quit. Someone is always watching. But also, I'm gonna say this: closed mouths don't get fed. So if you want to be a scientist and don't know how, don't know where to go, what your path is, you're confused, you're stuck, you got us. And we have a network of other scientists. There are all kinds of other networks around. There's Black and X, so you can find a Black network in any science field that you're thinking about going into. Reach out to one of them. If you want to be a scientist, ask one. To be one, ask one.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
That's a good one too. That's awesome.
Come up
Killing
with
them.
all the punchlines. Like,
You're right.
we need these on stickers, honestly.
Ooh.
Shirts.
B-SCI merch. Is that B-SCI merch?
I saw you drinking out of your B-SCI mug earlier, Jordan. a little sly plug.
You're right. Yeah, I definitely did. Stickers. Ooh, yeah. I like that idea.
Yes.
But all right, guys, you've been listening to Be Scientist. This has been our second live stream. As we've been saying this whole time, it's Give A28. Please go to mightycast.com and donate there. Help us reach our $500 goal. And we will catch you next time. And as they say, don't forget to be scientists, and we'll catch you next time. Be Scientist is a podcast by the Black Science Coalition and Institute, or B-SCI, a 501c3 nonprofit. Be Scientist is hosted by both Jenna Carpenter, chemist and B-SCI's Research and Development Officer, and Jordan Chapman, geoarchaeologist and B-SCI's president. Music is produced by Delaralo, and lyrics are by Jana. Special thanks to Michael, Mike, Katz, and Marshall, and the Plaza Abbey Studios. If you'd like to donate to B-SCI, visit our official website, bsci.org. That's b-sci.org. Your donation supports the Be Scientist and B-SCI's other projects. We couldn't do it without you. So, please tune in next time, and always, be scientists.